everyone. My name is Amanda. Thank you so much for joining us for another Zoo to You. Today's Zoo to You is brought to you by the U.Fund College Investing Plan and MEFA. Today we are going to be bringing out our ambassador animal, who is Lando, our red-footed tortoise, here to the tropical forest. Now, Lando has never been to the tropical forest before, even though he is naturally found in the rainforest. So this is a very exciting day for Lando, as well as some of the animals that live here in the tropical forest. So we're going to let him wander around the guest area now that we are close to the public right now indoors, and see if some of our other tropical forest residents find Lando to be reinforcing it all or interesting. So you might be hearing our cotton-top tamarins right now. They are vocalizing very loudly. It's probably because they are seeing Lando, our tortoise, for the very first time, which is pretty cool. This is a type of enrichment that we're providing for not just our tortoise Lando, but our cotton-top tamarins as well. It is a type of enrichment that we call social enrichment, or even it'll be a bunch of enrichment for Lando himself. This is giving him a audio type of enrichment, so he's hearing things he's never heard before, he's seeing things he's never seen before, and he's smelling things he's never smelled before either. So this is a full amount of enrichment that he's receiving here today, which is pretty awesome. So as we let Lando walk around the tropical forest, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of Lando's senses and what he might be experiencing right now as well. So first I want to talk about Lando's eyesight. Lando can actually see color very well. So sometimes if he actually sees something really bright, which there are these bright stickers on the floor, he might be attracted to. So we might see that on his walk today. But those really bright colors really stick out to him. And one of the reasons why that would be really important for an animal like Lando is because he would naturally find really bright foods really yummy. So like fruits and berries, maybe even some greens. Those are all type of foods that Lando would find really reinforcing. So I have an apple here with me today. See if he wants to take a little bite. Good job, Lando. And I'm going to see if we can actually get him to move to maybe a little bigger of a spot. So that way you guys can take a look at him a little bit easier and bring him towards another animal that lives here at the tropical forest. You can see we have our tapir mom and tapir baby out, so you might see them through the walk as well. But Lando over here is going to walk around and see if he can smell or see any new things. So like I said, his eyesight and vision is really adept to different colors. So you can see this apple looks super red right now because it's actually with a bunch of raspberries in my pocket over here. But that's something that's super attractive to him. Tortoises also have a really great sense of smell too. That sense of smell is really important for them to also be able to find food, as well as to be able to find mates. So male tortoises like Lando would actually be able to use their sense of smell to find different females, and that would be really important for reproduction. As you can see, sometimes when he sees the stain of food, he'll try to eat at it as well, which is a really normal thing for Lando to do. So he'll be really focused on those different colors. I also have in my pouch some banana. Those are some yummy foods for him as well. Other foods that he gets every day are different types of leafy greens, as well as carrots, and a tortoise chow that is made specifically for tortoises. Tortoises are considered an omnivore animal, so they mostly eat vegetables and fruits, but they can get some bugs pretty sporadically. So that tortoise chow actually is made to be a full encompassing diet for him as well, so he can get all of the vitamins that he needs. So other cool things about tortoises, specifically Lando, who is a red-footed tortoise, these guys are found in South America, which is really, really wet out in their rainforest. So he's really used to being in a moist environment. So because Lando lives here in our ambassador animal area behind the scenes, we mist him at least twice a day, so that way he can stay nice and moist, as well as we mist his entire exhibit as well. And that is actually when he becomes the most active. So tortoises in their natural environment are most active after rainfall. And we do see Lando get really into his misting too. Sometimes he'll even wiggle the back of his shell when he is being misted. So he definitely seems to really enjoy it. Another thing about tortoises, which is really interesting, is they actually have nerve endings into their actual shell. So you can actually give him a nice little scratch on the back and he'll wiggle it around. He seems to find that really reinforcing. We even give him different enrichment devices that help him be able to explore the senses on his back. So what we have right here is what we like to call a car wash. Lando sometimes chooses to walk through it and rubs his butt all against that brush. So this is a type of sensory enrichment that we provide for Lando. You can see he walks through it. We try to get it really close to his shell, that way he can get those nice bristles on his back. And he can get that sensory enrichment right there. See how he stops for that butt wiggle? It's always at the back of the shell. I don't know why. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy that experience with Lando as he goes through. Awesome job.
So Amanda, we had a couple questions.
Sure.
Martha asked if you can say how old he is.
That's a great question. Lando, we actually don't know his very specific age. He has been at the zoo since 1982, which is extremely impressive. So that's about 38 years. He's about, I would say, in his 40s at least. And these guys can live 50 plus years. So he's still got a decent amount of time to live here at the zoo with us. Any other questions from any of our viewers?
How much does he weigh? Do we know?
Yes, so we usually weigh him once a month, and he is about 14 pounds right now, or about 6.6 kilograms. I also have something else with me here that I wanted to show you guys. This is what we call a target pole. And you might have seen this with a lot of our other animals, maybe in our zoo too, or if you've come visited the zoo before. But a lot of our animals at the zoo are target trained, and Lando is included in those animals that are target trained. So I want to show you a little bit how that works. So if I put this target right in front of him, he will come all the way up to touch it. I'll click, and then he gets some reinforcement or yummy apples right here. Oh, my pouch came out. So these guys are target trained, like I said. It's actually something pretty new that we started doing with Lando. And this actually helps us take care of him more voluntarily. So if we need him to move to a certain area, we can use targets to do that instead of picking him up. And also provides just different stimulation for his life too. So that way he can learn new things from us throughout his life here. So you can see he's pretty good at following that target.
So Liam, who is 5 years old, wanted to know if the shell is always high or near his head.
If it's always high or near his head?
Higher near his head. It looks like it's a little bit taller near his head.
Yeah, that's a great question. So most tortoises' shells look pretty different from all of each other, so it's a very distinct thing. So higher on the end. Any other questions?
Martha asked if he swims.
That's a great question. So Lando does not swim. He can be found in very shallow waters. These guys actually defecate best in shallow waters. So we actually soak Lando once a week to make sure he gets some nice time to defecate if he needs that. But tortoises are actually animals that are not good swimmers, which actually is a big difference between turtles and tortoises, which is a really common question that we usually get. Their shell design is not made to be in the water, specifically really on deep waters. Versus turtles have much lighter shells that are made to be in the water.
And does he make any noises or vocalize?
No, so he doesn't make any noises. Sometimes you'll hear sometimes like a wheezing noise, or if he gets like a little bit frightened by any chance, he'll actually hide into his shell, and you can actually hear a noise from that, but that's usually just the friction from him moving his head into his shell really quickly.
Catherine wants to know if they're social animals or if they prefer to live alone.
That's a great question. So the only thing I know about tortoises really spending time together, specifically red-footed, is when it comes to mating. Males can be highly aggressive towards each other, and they can tend to get into a lot of different types of social battles. So male tortoises will actually fight over mates at some point, and they'll actually even try to topple each other over as a way to kind of defend their mate. So they usually will be kind of found around females, but besides that, you won't usually see it. Yeah. So we're actually going to bring Lando over to the lemurs right now, because we see a little lemur looking interested over there. So like I said, this is a type of enrichment that is benefiting many animals today. The lemurs are getting a different type of visual and social enrichment, as well as Lando as well. I actually don't know how well Lando could see into the other side. The lemur definitely seems to be really interested in that, which is pretty cool. We like to bring lots of different types of enrichment experiences for all of our animals. So thinking outside of the box is a really important part of being a keeper, and trying to provide different types of experiences for our animals every single day. Lando has been, like I said, at the zoo for about 38 years, and I don't think he's ever done this before, to my knowledge. So we're able to bring him a new experience even after being at the zoo for so many years.
Does the cold bother him?
It's a great question. So yes, the cold would definitely bother Lando for a couple of reasons. One, he is a reptile that is native to a very hot area. So these guys need to be in the warm climate constantly. So Lando lives indoors. During the summertime, he gets lots of sunshine time and exercise time. But during the winter, we make sure that he stays nice and comfy indoors. We provide lots of different light sources in his exhibit called UVB that give him a light that's very similar to the sun and gives him the same type of nutritional effects that he needs. But also being a reptile, he needs to be able to stay really warm. Even in the rainforest and their natural environment in South America, sometimes it can get a little bit cooler. Even if it gets down to the 60s, Lando can actually find places to burrow in his natural environment. That way he can stay nice and warm and even actually stop eating as well. Reptiles like Lando don't have to eat every single day like us mammals do. Lando can actually go for a few days, maybe even a week without a meal, and he would be just fine. Lando does get fed every day here at the zoo here, but he definitely doesn't need it.
I think we have one more question, and that one's from Tiana asking, if something happened to his shell, could he get a new one or kind of grow it grow back part of the shell?
That's a great question. From my knowledge, no. So their shells, they will actually grow with them throughout their life. But if a part of it broke off, I do not believe it would grow back as far as I know to my knowledge. Their shells are, like I said, super important. It's their one and only defense mechanism. They don't have many natural predators, but that is because of how important that shell is, and it provides that such great defense that predators will know not to eat them.
All right. I think that's about the time we have. Is there anything else you want to say about Lando?
I think that's it. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. I hope you got to really enjoy the experience of Lando here at the Tropical Forest. Definitely keep back to see more experiences with our animals around the zoo. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.